Okay, so we're back in the saddle. The siding here at Coughlin ended. It ended just back up over there. So we're going to push ahead here, and we should be arriving at our next big sort of stopping point very shortly, which is a bridge. All right, so we're approaching the bridge crossing here. Oh, there's a grouse on the, look at the grouse, that's a spruce one. And there she goes. And so what we're gonna do is, in a moment here, we're gonna pull up, and then we're going to have a look at this bridge. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to very quickly explore the bridge here. The first thing you'll notice is that the mileage board, the milepost marker, is still here, and so you can see the mileage on the bridge is 140.7. Again, that is the mileage on the Kinghorn. So for the original lines, you need to subtract 49.7 because the original line started in Jellicoe as opposed to Long Lac. And so this becomes milepost 91 on the original lines. You'll notice just to our north here, you can see the bridge belonging to the Canadian Pacific Railway. A little bit sort of different situation with that bridge. You can see that a little bit different construction, and this one's metal span, but you can see kind of the stone, almost sort of masonry-like abutments, whereas this one is concrete. This bridge here is approximately 50 feet long. I'll have all the details up on here for you. Now the creek that we're crossing, here's a sort of interesting part to this. We're not going to mention the name of this creek. It's a two-part name. We're just going to call it Big Creek, and the reason why we're going to call it Big Creek is part of the name is now considered an offensive term, and so we're not going to use it. You can look it up on a map if you want to. It still shows up on old topographic maps, so we're not going to use it. You can see kind of a few ducks in the stream here. The bridge itself, it's in pretty good shape. It's just basically a simple metal span bridge. Nice reek of creosote here. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop down and take a look at this. But again, like we've done in some other places, we were here in the fall time, as I mentioned. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use that footage from the fall simply because you can see with all of the water here, you'd never be able to make out some of the neat little features here on the bridge with all of this spring runoff that's rushing down the creek itself. So we'll jump down and have a look. All right, so we're down here on the north side of the grade. You can see the Canadian Pacific Bridge just over here. Kind of similar types of structures. I really like the masonry work on the Canadian Pacific Bridge. And on the Canadian Pacific, you can actually see piles in the water from a previous structure, which is the same is true for this structure. So if we make our way over here, we can get towards the underside of the structure. And so here you can see the metal span. You can see the date stamp over here. There's one over here. So you can see the 1965 date stamp. And down here, you can actually see very, very well. You can see all of the piles from one of the previous structures. There's quite a few of them that are in the water. We can't get under there. I'm not about to squeeze myself under there. So what we'll do is we'll here you can see right close to the structure itself. You can see a lot of the paint is coming off the structure of the metal. You can see the conduit here for the fiber optic cable. So what we're going to do is we're gonna jump over and go take a look at things from the other side. All right, so we've made our way across to the other side. We're actually on the southwest corner of the structure. We tried over there, but it's hard to see because there's that tree that's kind of growing up in that sort of southeast corner. So here you can see the structure a little bit closer, as actually probably this is one of the best views here that we have of it. You can see it's kind of rusty. It's obviously again probably the original 65 metal on there. Again, you can see very, very well the piles from one of the previous structures that was located here. Here we can actually, if we're very careful, we can make our way underneath, and here we can kind of see the inside of the structure very, very well. We can actually see the cross beams inside here, the metal that's kind of holding the spans together. Again, we can see the piles, and you can actually see the size of some of these piles. Here there's looks like a very old spike sitting on top of there. These little creeks and stuff are really neat because sometimes there's kind of little interesting kind of tidbits sitting in the water. Again, we can see the piles on the other side, the date stamp on that side. And then here we can see the date stamp on this side, the 1965. All right, so what we'll do is we'll make our way back up to the grade and just continue our journey to the west.